Hey folks, thanks for checking the video out. I'm Sam Luce and I've got another Logic Pro quick tip for you, or rather a few quick tips that all relate to one thing. That's the cycle marker. Now there's a few different things we can do here. It's not just like a loop tool, it does a few cool things and I want to show you them now. 5 different ways that we can use this that are a little out of the ordinary. So I say out of the ordinary, but this one is completely ordinary, but I feel like a lot of people don't know it, and that's how to set the cycle region length by the stuff you have selected. So if I want to bounce down my session at the end, for example, then a lot of people would just kind of drag this throughout the whole thing. Don't do that. Just press Command and A, select all your regions, and then press U. And that's going to create a cycle region around the regions you've got selected. Or you can press Command and U, and that will do it to the exact regions. Now, being the font of all Logic Pro knowledge as I am, I don't actually know why it doesn't just create it round the regions by default. Like, you've got U and you've got Command and U. U seems to create it a little bit more before at the front, but not at the end. So if I press Command and U, it does it directly around the regions and it finishes exactly where the regions begin and end. But U doesn't. If you know how to do that, can you please leave it in the comments, because that's always annoyed me. I've never really known what value it kind of extends it by, and I'd really like to know. You make my day. Second of all, we can actually exclude a region using the cycle tool as well. It's not just for looping stuff, but we can say, okay, I actually don't want to hear that bit. So this track is like a gypsy jazz kind of thing that I'm working on. And let's say, for example, I've got A section here. You can see on my markers, I've got A2, a second go around the A section, and I've got a B section. Well, for example, maybe I don't want to hear that A2 section. Maybe I just want to see how it sounds when I go from A to B. Well, I can do that using the cycle thing, but not in the way that you think. Instead of just dragging a cycle around that section, what I'm actually going to do is hold Command and drag a cycle around, and you'll see now that it's black. So what that's going to do is it'll exclude that part from the playback. So if I just hit play, it's going to jump from this and it's going to go bang over there to the B section. I like it the way it was before. But it's good to know that you can audition that kind of stuff and you can just split out a section that you don't necessarily want to hear and then play through the track. Now, one thing that annoys me about this whole cycle thing is when you press play, no matter where you are on the session, it's going to play from a cycle. Now, that's kind of by design and that's just what it does. That's kind of the idea. But you can get around that. If you don't want to play from bar 25, say I want to play from bar 17, but I just want to keep the cycle marker around that for no apparent reason. If you just double click on bar 17, it will play from there. It will kind of ignore the cycle and it will just say, all right, they've double clicked there, that's what I want to play from. That was one that annoyed me for a while, not annoyed anymore. Now we saw that we can set the locators by pressing U and it will just select around whatever we've got selected. Previously I chose to select everything, but you can do it per region as well. Well, what if you just wanted to select this and have the cycle automatically go around that region? Well, you can do that. If you go up to your cycle up here and just click and hold, go to Auto Set Locators, and it will tell you at the top right that you just turn it on. Now you can see that I've got it set to by marquee selection or by region selection as well. You can do it by note selection, but in this I've not really got a whole lot of MIDI that I actually want to do that round. I've got some MIDI, but I'm not too worried about that. So once I just select a region, the cycle is going to bang around it. And we can also do that with the marquee tool. We can just select this bit and you'll see that the cycle is actually moving along with it. That's pretty handy if you just want to cycle around that one section, that one 8-bar loop or that one 4-bar loop, and just select it, automatically it will go to it. But with that in mind, let's say I've got this 4-bar section looped, okay? But I now want to go to this section. Well, I'm on my mouse. I don't like using my mouse. I like using shortcuts. So here's what you do. If you want to go to the previous 4 bars, or essentially however long you've got selected with this, if it's 4 bars, it will go to the previous 4 bars. Let's hold Shift, Command, and press comma, and it will go back by 4 bars. If we press Shift, Command, and full stop, it will go forward by 4 bars. Now it's only 4 bars in this scenario because that's what I've got selected. If I select these 2, it's going to create 8 bars, and then I can go Shift and Command and to the right, and it will cycle through in 8-bar sections. That's quite handy if you're working through an arrangement and you just want to listen to that section. Oh no, hang on a minute, I've got my hands on the keyboard, I'm just going to go to that next section. So Shift and Command and comma to go back the amount of bars that you've already got cycled, and Shift and comma and full stop will go forward the amount of bars that you've got cycled. Thanks so much for checking that out. I hope those tips are useful for you. This kind of brought things to life for me because I found that the cycle was just like a loop thing. I found that it wasn't really of much use other than just looping that, but it can be quite creative. You can use it for means other than the ordinary, and there's just a few examples of how you can do that. Thanks so much for checking it out. I'll see you again soon. Take care.